And good morning. Okay. Just getting sorted. Wow, it's almost noon already. Okay, a couple more. It is 29 here in the Hudson Valley, New York. What am I missing? Twitch? Okay, all set. What's up, Andy? So, yesterday we were having a conversation about things that are going to be breaking. And yeah, I got a little resistance. I'm eating at breakfast at the same time. But right after the show aired with Toby and I, boom, something comes out with the green beret that Toby mentioned. So when I got heat yesterday for saying, oh, I don't want to hear opinions, I'd rather hear nothing than opinions. Well, for some people that might be the case. For other people, to give them the heads up is the key. And there's more coming, probably by the end of the week into next week. So that's it. I know, it's 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, my time, Starship. But I'll put the link, because this came out right after our show aired. Right after. And you can reach your own conclusions. I have not yet watched it, but I knew it was coming. But I have not watched this interview yet with this alleged whistleblower. I just put the link in YouTube. Well, there's one. I said there were going to be 4. But the others might take a little longer. Not the one at the end of the week. And already, Greer announced what he's up to, so that's 3. There's still another one, and another one that is just in wild that I can't even comment on. I hate doing that, but it's the fact. I can't talk about it. And I get heat from people. Oh, why are you mentioning if you can't talk about it? Because I'm telling you, keep an eye on what's going on. Like yesterday I said it, and what happened last night. Boom, that comes out. That's why. And if people don't like it, too bad. I'm going to do it anyway. Because some people do want to know that and get a heads up of what may be coming. Keep an eye. And then when it becomes public, then I can talk about it. But I'm not going to get ahead of it when these people are doing what they're doing behind the scenes. And these people that are working on this deserve the credit for what they're doing. I'm not going to be ahead of it and be irresponsible, like I keep saying, and put it out there until they come out with it. Because that's not right. So just check that link, watch it. I put it in YouTube. Watch it. I'll actually share it on the screen. You can go to his YouTube channel. I'm not going to air it because this is his exclusive. I'll share the screen so you can see it. But Jesse came out with this last night right after the show aired. It was crazy timing. And like I said, this is for those. I already put the link in YouTube. But just go to Jesse Mitchell's, Michels. This came out yesterday. And it's already got 129,000, almost 130,000 views. Join Jesse Mitchell's on American Alchemy as Green Beret, as we mentioned on the show. Green Beret, Randy Anderson reveals his shocking 2014 encounter with a levitating extraterrestrial orb at a classified facility. This profound experience with off-world technology reshaped his view of reality and highlights the urgent need for public awareness, resilience, and preparedness. And then it has his website, Randy's website. But again, this is allegedly what he experienced. This is Randy's account. And you can watch this interview. It's quite lengthy. And reach your own conclusions. That's it. That's all I can do. The messenger. Like I said, there's something. If that is one thing, there's another thing coming out by the end of the week until next week. I don't know if the timing is going to be at end of this week, weekend, or next week, but it's coming. And Greer already announced what he's doing on Newsmax a few days ago, so that's another. That's 3. I said 4. There's another one. So pay attention. Some people don't want to pay attention. That's up to you. You don't like it? Too bad. Don't tune in. Ignore what I say. That's all. If you don't like it, that's your opinion. You rather hear nothing? Then don't hear nothing. Don't hear anything I have to say. It's the way I think of it. Forget about feel. It's what I think. I'm trying to give people a heads up like I did back when I was able to a couple of weeks ahead of when Grush was going to be announced. But not until. So, and we know the individuals that are working with certain individuals to bring this news out to the public. That's for them to do. That's the responsible thing to do. Could I easily go on with Toby and say, well, guess what? Such and such, by the end of the week, is going to come out with this thing before they even announce it. Because there are people out there that would love to do that. Well, I'm not one of those. I'm not looking for thousands and millions of clicks and attention seeking and, make it about me, because it's not about me. It's about what they're doing, not what, like I said, I'm just providing the information of what may be coming, but I'm not going to steal their thunder and what they've been working hard at just to put it out there ahead of when they announce it. That's so irresponsible. So irresponsible. But yet there are clowns that do that all the time. Just to say, well, I I said it. I came out publicly with it. I was the first one. Who cares? What matters is with the hard work that these people do doing the research and getting in contact with individuals and sitting down with them and doing all that boots on the ground work to get this information out to the public. Whether you agree or disagree with what the person is saying, that's a matter of opinion. That I understand. But these people are trying to do their due diligence to get the information out, and to say ahead of time who they are and who they're talking to, no way. But there are lots of people that would love to do that. For clickbait and attention and their egos. Well, there's the right way to do things and not so right way to do things. And I'm not going to do things the wrong way. Period. Okay. Uh-oh. Now other people are sending me stuff. And tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, who I consider a friend, Robert Salas will come on here at 9 p.m. Eastern for 20, 30 minutes, because I'm not here. We're going to cut right to the chase. We're not. I'm just getting messages. We're going to talk about his account, his experience at the Malmstrom Air Force Base. He's already been public many times about it, about the potential of him appearing at an upcoming hearing, UAP hearing, which, believe it, it's being discussed. I'll just put it out there. Who has met with Nancy Mace after the hearing and also has met with Arrow, which he made public already. So I won't put things out there that he hasn't already mentioned, because he's already been on a few shows on KGRA and has mentioned it with numerous hosts about what's going on. He was on with the UAP Crossfire guys, and he was on with Earl Grey Anderson, who did phenomenal interviews with him and his lovely wife, by the way. And some of the difficulties that Congress is encountering, specifically with his case, in getting documentation. And who could be other key witnesses associated with this, because he's down underground at the command center for these Minutemen missiles that went down, while others are communicating that they're seeing something hovering over the base at the time these went down. So that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. I'm not going to talk about it. The person that was directly involved is going to talk about it. And it's going to be blunt, direct. Just get the information out there, put it out there, because I'm not going to waste his valuable time to be here for an hour or 2 hours. We'll just get right to it. Because I see a lot of these interviews. It's subpar to me what the interviewee is doing. It's almost laughable. Some of these people that think they're podcasters that can do interviews. That's just my honest opinion and assessment on it. It's almost like when I see these hearings and these congressional members who have time to prepare and staff ask the most ridiculous questions when they've got these people sitting in front of them. If you couldn't come up with better questions than that? They don't do their homework. They don't do their research. I guess. But some are on point. somewhere on point when they do it. So, like I said, Robert will be joining me tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern here on the stream for a little while. And we're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing that now, moving forward. We're going to bring people that are relevant to what's going on. I'll do it maybe once a week. And I don't want to say anything that's upcoming for some of the shows coming on the station because I already know some of the guests that are coming up, but I'll wait till that's announced. Like there's one that's going to be really interesting. Actually, 3 on the UAP Crossfire show. So, which Chris needs to get on the ball. Chris, if you're watching, and contact that person. Because I already got, Don Ecker has the other one and I have the other. So it's a share game here. I know Kristan had Stephen Bassett last night. Well, I called Stephen. Steve is great. He's hard at work, doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes. And he's been doing it since the mid-90s. There are a lot of people out there doing different things, including Lou Elizondo, Chris Mellon. There are different groups trying to do different things, but they're all looking for the same thing, disclosure. And there's nothing wrong with different groups doing different things. Now, if people want to be jealous of what the other are doing, that's their business. Because that is all ego-driven. And then they try to discredit them, create some animosity, because what is it really about? I mean, let everybody just do what they're doing. It's like having a difference of opinion. Redo your own research. Let them do what they're all doing. It's better. All these different groups that are trying to get to the same result and get people to come forward, like whistleblowers, and tell us what the heck is going on. I see nothing wrong with that. But right away, people want to attack certain groups because they don't like it for certain reasons. And I wonder what those reasons are. Personal, ego-driven, jealousy, envy, hate even, trolling. Because people get a kick out of that. There are a lot of sadistic people out there that just enjoy doing that to other people. I mean, what the heck? When you look at it objectively and just lay it out, it's ridiculous how some people can behave and act. And, for example, what Jesse did by interviewing this person, I mean, he deserves a lot of credit for making this happen. Now, when you hear the interview, it's up to the individual to reach a conclusion about what this alleged whistleblower is discussing. Whether you believe what he's saying or not, that's for each individual to reach their own conclusion. But at least he's getting this person to sit down and talk about it. Because I'm sure out there right now after this interview, they're saying this is a psyop, this is disinformation, this is false flag, this is this. I bet you there are more people trying to discredit this individual, Randy, than anything else. Definite. You know what? And then they'll do a podcast to do it, to garner that attention. I'm the guy who debunked him and discredited him. Ha 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 ha. It's all about their own self-driven ego. It's about them. They make it about them. Now, to voice an opinion about what the individual is saying is different. Because then you could break it down. And I'm not going to play it because that is Jesse's gig. That's his exclusive thing. I'm not airing his audio part of this interview. I'm not showing it on screen because that's his. That's for him. And good on him. But I have not, because this happened last night after Toby and I was on the air and talking about the Green Beret, because I can actually replay the video that aired last night with Toby and I, and it's wild. The timing that this dropped right after the show ended, and people were like, how did you guys know? This happened so quick. Because we've been telling you, and there's more. Now, I always look at the public domain and see if people come forward. Like, I saw that Dr. Greer came forward on Newsmax talking about his part. Whatever you think of Dr. Greer, that's on you. But I'm looking at what the person that he's bringing forward is going to be discussing. And then there's another thing coming out, hopefully by the end of the week. And that's interesting. And then there's something else that I don't know exactly how long it's going to take before that comes out. And then there's something that is so ridiculously, seriously scary that I discussed it with certain people, and I don't know what to make of it. I kind of find it wild, the scenario that was given to me about something that happened. I mean, it sounds like something out of a movie. Like a sci-fi movie. It's so out there. But if it's real, it's big. That's all I can say, because I was told not to mention a word, hint, nothing about it. And it stinks, I know, but this is the information that comes to me. Yes, you did miss something overnight, and I was hinting about this, but I can't say it because I'll get in trouble. And I'm glad that he came out with this last night, right after our show. But yes, it's this. And good on Jesse. Congratulations for him doing this. Good on him. So, UFO whistleblower. I saw alien tech in an underground base. Just go to Jesse Mitchell's. That's how I pronounce it as a New Yorker. Michels. So you can go to his channel. I'll do that. Right there. American Alchemy. So subscribe to his channel. Support him. Support what he's doing. This guy is on it. Subscribe. I'm doing it right now because I forgot to do it on this account. I have it on my other YouTube. I just subscribed. He's got a lot of interesting content on his channel, including what he dropped last night. And like I said, credit to him. Sitting down with this individual right here. Green Beret Randy Anderson reveals his shocking 2014 encounter with a levitating extraterrestrial orb at a classified facility. This profound experience with off-world technology reshaped the view of reality and highlights the urgent need for public awareness, resilience. And the weird thing about this is, from other people I've talked to, this is not new. And it's new maybe for him to come out and talk about it, but I've heard other people tell me about the same thing. And it was an underground facility. It was levitating. It was some type of technology that, and you hear it. When I hear it, it's like it comes from multiple. There wasn't that many people. He came out with it. But I heard it from somebody else that also was underground and seen it. And I'm not dropping names. I'm not doing that. But I have not watched that yet. I haven't had the time. But very interesting. And at the beginning of the show last night, I can air it, that Toby and I did. Toby, because I'm careful. I'm very cautious, and Toby is too. But he did get a little specific on a few things last night. Like he did mention Green Beret. I was like, but you don't know what that means. That could be scenes. Like the chatter that's going on behind the scenes right now about Lou Elizondo and his possible role in the Trump administration. Everybody has a difference of opinion. Personally, I would love to see it. That's just me. I would love to see Lou get a spot after everything that man has gone through and all the attacks and all the discrediting and intimidation and threats and everything that man has gone through. It would be a sweet twist of irony. Because, he's a shill, he's disinfo, he's part of the PSYOP, but that's a conspiracy that we hear about everything that goes on around us. That's the number one thing that you hear about anything that's out there. It's a famous trope that people use. It's PSYOP. It's deep state. It's a false flag. It's this. It's the same BS all the time. They have nothing original. It's the same thing they've been saying for years now. It's PSYOP. It's deep state. It's this conspiracy. I mean, it gets tiring after a while. It just does. I mean, really. That's the way I feel about it. Ridiculous. Stop. Get a little grip of reality. They probably are so paranoid in their existence. But anyway, despite all that, that's one example. And also the potential. I see your message. I see your messages, Andy. And also what the next possible setting could be for a hearing and the chatter that's going on behind the scenes about that. So that's two examples. I keep hearing things. Now I'm getting paranoid. So, there's always the stuff that goes on behind the scenes where people say, well, yeah, and I'm trying to reach out to somebody because I want to know if they have information, because they've done specific research on what I'm hearing behind the scenes, and I want to know if they've heard anything. But I'm not going to say anything. I want to see if they say something, and then I can say it. That's an example. Like years ago, I was talking to Jimmy Church, and I said, Jimmy, do you know? Because this is when the Skinwalker Ranch guy, Brandon Fugel, was on that program, and he's got they mask his voice. You see him and we already knew who it was. So I said, Jimmy, do you know who the new owner for Skinwalker is? He goes, yeah. Do you? And then he goes, you first. That's what Jimmy said. You first. And then I said, Brendan's name. And he says, yep, that's him. Now, I don't know if Jimmy actually knew, but he agreed with me when I said it. But we knew about it early in the game. But we didn't say nothing. At least I didn't say nothing. I don't know if Jimmy did. But it's like that. But until it's made public. Now, again, I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. I don't know if Jimmy was just trying to see if I would reveal it, which I did. But that's how it works. That's just an example. I'm not talking, even though I just did, till I finish chewing. Like Richard Dolan has a book coming out, actually a series of books, volumes, on USOs. And I hear it all the time, just like anybody else out there. Oh, Richard's this, Richard's that. I love Rich. I personally, in my opinion, that man is a treasure trove of information. And when he was at Pine Bush 2 years ago, he puts, and I told him in a phone call 2 weeks ago, and I sent him the video because I was given permission by the person at the museum that Richard could use it on his channel. I don't know if he has his presentation from Pine Bush. He called it. He put the text on the screen. It was 2 years, I think, ago, and he called it perfectly of what the heck is going on right now. Richard Dolan was on it perfectly. So when I hear people criticize Richard Dolan and all that, I'm like, you don't know. Do you know him? Have you spoken to him? Again, there are people out there that say whatever they say. You don't have to agree with everything they say. Of course not. You have your opinions. But I'm not going to sit here and disrespect the man and call him this, that, or that because you don't agree with what he says. Or there's something else going on. A dislike to say that he's a shill or this. I mean, where does that come from? What proof is there of that? What evidence is that there? Or is it just you don't like what he's saying, so you're just calling him that, this, or this? It's ridiculous. Because you don't agree with what he says? So now you got to attack his character? And make it personal? I don't understand that. I don't. It's like anything else. If Toby and I are doing a show, and Toby says something, which rarely ever happens, that I don't agree with, I'm going to say it to Toby. Well, Toby, you know what? I don't necessarily agree with that. What if it's, but in a very respectful manner. I'm not going to attack Toby because I don't agree with him. That's just ridiculous. But that's the way it is now. And that's just a shame. It really is. That's just a shame that people have to stoop to those levels because you don't agree with what they have to say, so we'll just attack you because we don't like what you say. Tune out. Don't listen to the person. Okay. You know what this person is saying, I'm not with this. I'm not going to pay attention to what this person... That's fine. That's a good thing to do. That's a good way to deal with it. But you know what they'll do? They'll turn around and start sitting in their throne in their houses, because this is their throne and the keyboard, and then they're going to stir it up and start putting it out there in social media and all that to destroy, because they make it personal. For what? What reason? What reason would a person have to do that? Is it ego? Is it misery? That they're miserable? Is it jealousy, envy, or sadistic, or something else? But there has to be a reason for it. Or just if we're garnering attention, yeah, I'm the one. I'm the person that's going after all these people. I'm that person. And then they don't realize that what they're doing is so petty low. They just don't. It's just like a child with a tantrum in a schoolyard. It's so immature. It's so amateur. I don't know what other words I can put this in, but it's like when there's drama going back and forth, do you think I want to stick my head in between drama between two people? Who gets messed up when you do that? You do. Because now you're in the middle of these two sides and they're going at each other. And you hear it from this side, you hear it at this side. And then you're told you got to make a choice. It's me or them. Oh, I'm not being put in that spot. This is between you two. Keep me out of it. This has nothing to do with me. But you know what? There are people out there that enjoy it. Oh, they want to jump on that bandwagon and get into it because they enjoy the drama. They enjoy the gossip. They feed on it. They love it. They thrive on it. That is what they love to do. It makes, I guess, their day or night pass by. Think about that kind of a life. Think about it. Is that how you spend your precious time? I almost died 2 years ago from a heart attack. You think I'm going to waste my time on petty nonsense? Or paying attention to what a troll says? Or something just outlandishly stupid that someone says? You think I'm going to waste my precious time on people like that? Heck no. They're not pushing my buttons. I'm not wasting 1 second, split second, on even putting attention to what they have to say. It's just, I'll ignore them. That's like when I went to New York City. You have all these people approaching me. Though my mother was a magnet. Woody and Petita can tell you that. And they come up to you to try to sell you something or con you or whatever. I just keep walking. I ignore them. Simple. And they move on to the next victim. Potential. My mother. For real. So it's like, get a life. Find somebody else. I'm not that person. It's just, I'm telling you. And social media has a lot to do with this. Social media has a big part. Because think how things were in the 80s or 90s compared to when this whole thing blew up with social media. And how it's changed life, period, across the board. Good and bad. With a lot of negativity associated with that. And a lot of false information, disinformation. By globally. Forget about by. Globally. So they just feed into it. I rarely do individual posts on my Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. So if you're looking for me to put stuff up, you're not going to find it. Only my streams. When I go live, yeah, it shows up on Facebook or wherever. That's it. I don't have time to waste to try to garner attention from what I'm saying, rah this, rah that. For what? For my ego? To make me feel like I'm important for something? And to cause people to just react in a negative way? And no, I'm not that kind of person. I'm not interested. If there's plenty of people that, when I go to Facebook and I see some people that I know's post, I'd rather not see what they're writing. Because I don't want to become a person like everybody else that judges everybody else. I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be like a judgmental person. Because you can tell just based on what their feeds are. And that's their business. And that's their opinions. And I respect. And I'll respect to agree to disagree. But respectfully. Not that I'm going to despise them and hate them and unfriend them and never speak to them again. which a lot of people do because they have a difference of opinion. That's so petty. Think about it, how petty that is. So much in common, but the one thing, because of that one thing, it pushes people over that line, and that does it. You can know somebody for years, family members, friends, for years. Oh, think about all that time of having a relationship with those people and everything you experience with them, just to throw it away because they have a difference of opinion. How ridiculously petty is that? I gotta check my fire. I don't understand that. But that's on them. My fire's good. I'm gonna have to get more wood. That's on them. If that's what they do, that's on them. Now, what I don't like is when certain people play the game of pretending to be some kind of a friend and then they're mocking you. Subtly, indirectly, almost like a subliminal type of thing, a deal. Those are the ones you got to be careful of. It's like they smile in your face and you know what happens in the back. Those are the ones you got to watch. And I see that sometimes in the chats. And I'm like, you're talking to a New Yorker who grew up in New York City and had to deal with literally thousands of people. In my high school, over 2,000, for example. Uh-oh, my neighbor. So, you don't think I know how to read people and see where they're coming from? Give me a break. Oh, that wasn't going to you, Sid. I'm live right now. How are you? So everybody could hear what you're saying.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. What's going on? Everything good?
Nothing much. I'm up there. I'll be by the house in 5 minutes. I bought a new dehumidifier for the basement.
So do you want me to go help you?
Well, if you're online, forget about it.
No. I don't want you to have to do that because we have to. I mean, I could just step away. We have to move the stuff from the garage to the basement because everything is done. The house is done. Everything's done. We just got to clear that out. So it's only going to take like 5 minutes. The only thing is the dehumidifier. That thing is still there where we could put it on top of that area for the dehumidifier, right?
Yeah.
That shelf thing?
I'm brand new one because
Did-
the other one was old. And if you need the other one, you can take it for yourself.
All right, listen. Did you get that? Did you get an extension cord for the garage?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
And do we have a plug for the dehumidifier for the basement?
I think we have an old one. If it's not, I'm going to have to go buy a extension cord. Yeah.
All right, how far away are you from the house?
3 minutes.
All right, what I'll do is I'll just step away from my stream and I'll come meet you quick, and we'll do that, and then I'll come back.
Okay. No.
All right, I'll meet you. I'll meet you.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
That's my neighbor. And see, that's what neighbors do. We help each other. It's a long story what I've done for him in that house. And that's a trust thing. That's how you develop a trust between people. Neighbors, helping neighbors. And I'll be back. What I'll do is I'll put the interview that Toby and I did last night and how it ties into some of the stuff that happened even last night and what's coming. I'll put that on if nobody's seen it because it's already aired on KGRA, so I can play it. And it'll be something you could, if you're interested, you could watch it. If not, don't. It's not. Let me see if I have it. Oh, I did not delete it. No. All right, so I'm going to have to get it from the KGRA YouTube. No big deal. No, that's not the episode. Yeah, here we go. All right, I'm going to step away. I'll play this while I'm gone.
What is up, Bill 2025?
It came so quick. Oh my gosh. But happy holidays to you, belated holidays to you, your family, and everyone watching and listening. Hope you had a wonderful holiday season.
Oh, yeah.
And now, dude, it's 2025. Like you said, what's going on in the UAP area? I think we can expect quite a bit coming up this year. There's a lot of information back, behind the scenes.
If the rumors and speculation circulating are accurate, then things are going to kick off this week. I'm hearing from multiple sources. There are some members of a team from a black site coming forward this week. Out of respect to the people that are putting it out, I don't want to go into too much detail. And I mean, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But that's just you've heard the rumors.
Yes.
I've heard from people pretty close to it that it is going to happen. The big question to me is what evidence are they going to bring?
That's the key, because I'm hearing stuff behind the scenes without, like you said, being cautious, not putting names out there, about the next upcoming hearing and what they're planning for that hearing and the possible individuals that could take part of that hearing. But even if you bring, I'll just loosely say it, I might as well just put it out there, direct witnesses to events, you still need the evidence behind it, because people are going to say, okay, they're telling us a story. We've heard the story before. Those familiar with this field have heard many, if not all, of these cases that are discussed. And it's like, this is more for the public, the general public consumption when they have these hearings. You know that. And a lot of people that are watching and listening know that too. It's like, what's new? What's going on? For us, that's what we're looking for. We want more. We want more evidence, documents. But the problem is, and you know this from the frustration behind the scenes, especially with congressional officials trying to get that information by even entering a SCIF.
Yeah, and there's the thing. If they get into a SCIF and they get the info, the public's not getting it.
Exactly.
It's classified. So it's kind of a catch-22, you'd say. There could be plenty of evidence. None of us have the clearances to see it. So like you said, we're left in the same spot. Compelling stories, but where's your proof?
But the thing is, I'm not even counting the Gillibrand hearing with the new Arrowhead. That was just ridiculous, in my opinion, to even when I watched that. It was like, this is nothing. But the other hearing, when Lou was there and Mr. Gold and I forget who else was there, but when they had those people there, Lou said, if I don't want to quote him exactly, I'm paraphrasing, that there are documents that could be made available to the public. So let's see them. It's so frustrating. Give us something. But think about this, Toby. And this is something to consider. Even if the government was to release documents, images, video clips, the first thing people are going to say is, that's fake. They're putting out disinformation and there's some type of an agenda, and all the other conspiracies are going to come out from everywhere. The rabbit hole is going to just open up, and it's going to be, this is part of a false flag. This is to control the narrative. You know how it goes. So even if you were to come out with information, and put it out there to the public, the first thing you know they're going to do is question it and doubt it. You know that.
Well,
So,
it's funny because naturally a lot of people covering this topic and following this topic don't believe our government because you're saying there's over 80 plus years of cover up, but in the same breath they want the government to release the proof. So how do you trust the people that you don't trust are giving you the actual proof?
exactly.
I've heard it said, I think Bigelow is one of the most famous people that came out and said, you're never going to get disclosure. You'll get confirmation. You'll get confirmation, but you're not going to get disclosure.
All under the guise of national security, because it's part of that. I mean, obviously, you can't release classified information, but this thing, like, even I think Lou touched on this as well. The technology that's used, they want to protect how we gather intel and data in video clips, let's just say. But that can be just like a document. When they blacken it all out, it's all redacted. They can do that on video too. There's no excuse for that. That's how they obtained the data, what kind of technology was used to get that information. There's ways to do that. So to me, that's I'll be honest, a BS excuse. Give us something. But at the same time, look, we know somebody. And I'm just going to throw the person's name out there because he's willing to come forward and he said it publicly. Robert Salas, Maelstrom, a direct witness. Okay, yes, he may have been underground at the command center when the Minutemen missiles were shut down, but there were other people above ground that seen this object hover and create havoc at that facility. So there are people out there, like Mr. Salas as an example, that are willing to come forward. But the thing is, you need to, and he did meet with Nancy Mace after the hearing. There are people that are willing to come forward, but you still need the documentation to back up what happened there that the government has in their possession. Now, this is, how old is this? 50 years old, almost? And you're telling me that stuff is still classified that happened 50 years ago, that can't be declassified? Maybe it can't be. But really, Toby, really?
Well, and I'm going to bring it back to what you said about with the video, redactions, cropping of the videos. I'm going to bring everybody back to starting in February 2023. The first of 3 objects was shot down over the United States and Canada. You remember this?
Yes.
Crazy reports of what they actually were, from a cylindrical object to a hobbyist balloon, which we shot down. Wasn't true. That thing was still flying.
Mm-hmm.
No video, no answer. I sat in on the Pentagon briefing on Super Bowl Sunday when he came out and said, we can't rule out extraterrestrial. The guy from NORAD said that. Okay, all this, and still, years later, we've gotten one crappy, well, not, I shouldn't say crappy, but one photocopied image release thanks to a Canadian journalist who's been on it. So where's the video and photo for that? I've emailed Susan Go, and I always get the same response. That's all still classified, or it's not set for release. I ask you this. The same year, within months, Chinese spy balloon is brought down. What do they release? An HD photo from the cockpit of the jet that shot it down, I believe, of this balloon. I mean, crystal clear as day. If you can release that and the other ones were just balloons too, why have they not released those?
Exactly. Our friend Martin Willis was on vacation, I believe, and he actually filmed the balloon being shot down by the aircraft. He has video of that, our friend Martin Willis. And he posted it when it came out. He just happened to be there at that time. So a lot of people did capture, other people capture video of that. But yes, why can't we see that? Like what you referenced to. It's laughable. It really is laughable, Toby. It's just to the point of frustration. But like we were touching on certain things that are being said behind the scenes. There's been a lot of discussion, and he was even questioned. I saw a clip from Cuomo when he had Lou Elizondo on, would you be willing to work for the Trump administration on UAP transparency? And he was like, I haven't been asked, but sure, I would work for my government again and serve in a capacity if they ask me. I don't know if, because there's a lot of people talking behind the scenes that he just might take the role in the administration, or this is all just bluster and talk, but that's out there too.
Yeah, and I think what's brought up a lot of that talk recently, especially with the Trump's recent comments, is the drone incidents that have been happening.
Yep.
And I mean, if you recall, this didn't just start towards the end of last year. It's hard to say last year. I think
It's been going on for a long time.
Colorado, what was it, in earlier that year or the year before? These things were showing up in formations for days and just disappearing. Langley, yep. So it's not a new thing, but then we start getting these reports all over New Jersey, which is heavily populated, and then people start posting descriptions online, photos, videos. A lot of it they say is misidentified planes. You have Congress people coming out and saying we don't know what the hell these are. Then you have the FBI and the Department of Defense saying it's nothing to worry about. They're all flying legally. It's not a threat. It all leads up to finally someone asked Donald Trump the other day, what's going on with the drones? And he said, I'm going to disclose it, my first day, second day in office.
Mm-hmm.
Do I believe that? I don't know. To me, he has shown that he's not interested in the topic. And that's talking to people that I know that are in the military, former military. They don't see him as being a disclosure president. I don't know if he will be or not. I don't follow it closely enough, but let's see if he does come out with, what are these drones?
When he was on Rogan, he said that I don't have a personal interest. I'm like I said, I'm loosely paraphrasing when I saw this. I'm not particularly focused and interested on the subject, but I did speak with the pilots, and I think they're great people. They're trustworthy, and what they told me, I believe what they said they seen. So he's open-minded, but I see him as also being very cautious, which is a good thing. And I guess he wants to be more prepared. But think of it this way. Like you mentioned about the drones, because Lou Elizondo brought that up on the Cuomo show too. It's not just about the UAPs, it's about the drones too, and what's going on now. But if you were to be a person in a position that you don't necessarily know, like the details of the people that are involved in this field, right? Like the big names that are involved, like a Mellon, some of the others that are hard at work doing this, even like our friend Steve Bassett, even Dr. Greer, whoever it is. But what's a name that I think President Trump or President-elect Trump soon will be president, but what's a name do you think that he would be familiar with? Luis Elizondo.
Yeah, because he's been on his son's podcast. He's been in the news quite a bit. I mean,
that's what I mean. Even when Trump was in that last administration, that's when this stuff started coming out anyway. So he has to be pretty much, I think, familiar with at least the name of Lou Elizondo. So that might be a person that, to him, is worth putting in an administrative position. He's familiar with the name. I'm sure he'll have people that are giving more information. But wouldn't that be, and I'm just saying this fairly balanced, wouldn't that be a twist of irony after everything Lou Elizondo has been through to be given a position in the administration? That would be incredible. And I to be honest, I've spoken to him briefly in the past. He's been through a lot. He's been through a lot of personal attacks, discrediting, but that goes without saying with all the other whistleblowers as well. That goes across the board. But I think that if he was offered the position, seriously, that he would take it. And that would be such an ironic twist, almost full circle on everything that's going on. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that are for it and a lot of people against it, obviously. But I would like to see that happen for Lou. I would. after everything he's been through and all the, all the bashing and the intimidation and the threats and what his family has gone through. Do you know what I mean? From a human level, it would be interesting to see Lou take that position if offered. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I've met Lou and his wife. They both very nice people. I've interviewed him. I know he's a controversial figure, to say the least. But like you said, anybody's going to be. And I kind of want to bounce back for a minute here because you brought up another name that ties into what's going on right now. Stephen Greer, Dr. Greer. I mean, you want to say controversial in this topic, he's probably number one on that list.
Absolutely.
And here's where things took a wild, twisty turn, and it might be leading up something. It might not be.
I know where you're going because I saw the same thing, but let me see if it's the same thing. Go for it.
So, a Cybertruck in front of the Trump Casino in Las Vegas blows up. A manifesto is emailed to Sean Ryan's show and a couple of others.
Yes.
It's a pretty high-ranking Green Beret that did this. And in this letter, he states, hey, this is anti-gravitic tech that we have and China has.
Yes.
It was developed at Area 51, Groom Lake. And so this is where Greer ties into this. He's been hitting the media rounds lately saying this was one of the people associated with the Green Berets he knows that are coming forward from this black site. And lo and behold, we have rumors of people coming forward from a black site this week. I can't say on what show, and we don't know what proof they're going to bring forward, but
that's for them to bring out.
And Greer's saying, these are the guys I've been talking to. So if this does happen, and I'm not saying it's going to, how is the community going to feel about Greer being in the middle of all of it, considering not just the controversy around him? I mean, you have the CE5 sessions where he allegedly was throwing flares out of a helicopter. You have him attacking Lou Elizondo, which is kind of what also made me bring this up. And Lou Elizondo kind of went back at him. So
why wouldn't he?
No, he should have. But what's interesting is Lou Elizondo is with another organization called the UAP Disclosure Fund.
Right.
And they released an email stating they are providing legal representation for an upcoming unknown whistleblower that's supposed to come forward soon. So I checked with my sources to see if this is the same people that allegedly are coming forward this week, and I was told no. So are we going to have two different camps of two different opinions, two different people, controversial in their own rights and for their own reasons, bringing forward competing whistleblowers? I mean, is it going to be one narrative on this side and one narrative on the other?
But that happened already. Because we knew, and we were careful. We knew. And I remember being at Roswell when this stuff was breaking, because there were people there present that were involved with this. When we knew who David Rush was, but it was in public. It was in March I think it was in March when I was there with you. We knew who he was, but we were told, don't say anything. And we didn't until it was actually released in the public domain that he was coming forward. But what happened? It was on News Nation, his interview with Ross Coulthart, right? What happened the next day? Dr. Greer has the Washington, D.C. press club thing where he's bringing whistleblowers forward. It's like a competing narrative going on. Yeah, you've got Grush coming forward, but not to let that be out there. He's got his thing. Now, is that coincidence because of the timing? Because he has to book the event ahead of time to get that date set at the National Press Club. But it was kind of odd to see the timing of that. You have Grush the night before, literally, on News Nation, and the next day you've got Dr. Greer doing his thing. Now, I will say this. I don't look at things in a personal way, in a judgmental way, though, yes, there are questions about everything. Credibility is involved, all that. But if a person is part of bringing disclosure out there, so be it. it's not necessarily about the individual, the messenger. It's about the people delivering the message. So I want to see who these whistleblowers are. And Toby, and they're trying, look with Burchett, trying to create even more protections for whistleblowers. If I or you were a whistleblower, would you really want to come forward and put yourself, your family, your livelihood, your reputation at stake for what? To be ridiculed, people are going to be out to discredit you, to destroy you, to threaten you, etc. I mean, I know, speaking to people that we know, that because they're having conversations and trying to figure out who they want for the next hearing. A lot of them don't want to come forward. They don't want to come forward because they don't want to be put in that position. And it's kind of a sad, tragic thing, but that's just the reality. Now, there are a few that want to, but I don't know if necessarily that those are the people that fit the criteria that they want to be in the next hearing. Because I think the focus is going to be on nuclear facilities, anything related to nuclear. That's what I'm hearing. But look at our friend Mark D'Antonio. Why can't he be at a hearing? And even though it's a brief statement he could make, he was on a nuclear sub. And I trust Mark 100%. When he says what he says, he was on that sub. He heard Sonar, the operator at Sonar, say, we got a fast mover, a USO, moving at I don't even know the exact number because I don't want to misquote it, 100, 200 knots, which is incredible speed. And he witnessed that. A fast mover. Is it a torpedo? No. It's something else. And no mammal, no sub, nothing moves man-made that fast. So what was it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what about that? And they documented it. The commander, probably the CO, said, okay, log it. That's it. But what happened to it? Did they take it and remove it from the records? Like you would think there would be a record of that, right? Is it classified? Can you classify something like that? And Mark is a direct witness on a nuclear sub, witnessing that himself, right there next to the sonar operator. I mean, how much more can you have? Now, that's not to say we know what it is. It's a USO. We don't know. Now, is there related sonar data? Just like over bases, okay, like Salas, for example, we mentioned him earlier. Wouldn't they, you would think, have some kind of radar or other information that would validate the movement of this thing, whether it was hovering over the base? Where is it? It's classified. Would they release it? I don't know. That's the problem, Toby. That's the problem.
Well, and I think back to when you're talking about whistleblowers not wanting to come forward. If, in my perspective, when I look at it, I try to look back at a more recent whistleblower that's come forward. How did it work? How did it happen? Grush, while he was a very, very good witness, he came forward in official manner, official capacity, which, he did the right thing. But then I think of someone like Snowden. He tells his boss, I'm sick or whatever, and he flees to China before he releases what he's going to release. And I mean, he's been on the run, Was he living in Russia now?
I think he was in the UK. He was detained in the UK, but I think the case has been thrown out. I think he's good to go. I think I have to look into it more. I don't want to put out information that is not accurate, but
fair enough. But I'm just saying he left the country before he said anything.
Yeah, he was in Russia for a while
before he came forward. More recently, I think of the Boeing whistleblowers.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a private company. 3 people died within a week that were set to testify.
Yep.
So if these people coming forward have the biggest, most earth-shattering news in probably human history, look, there's life out there. It's visiting us. We've captured their craft. We've captured their bodies. We're using this stuff to make new technologies, and different governments are bidding on it and whatever. Who who's to say someone wouldn't step in and say, wait a minute, yeah, you're not going to be talking about that.
I agree.
So you know, like you said, the authenticity of things, they can come forward with all the proof they want, and it can be very compelling. But I wonder if anything short of one of these creatures or craft being put on public display for people to come see themselves, is anything short of that really going to push things forward? Which leads me to my next rumor. So we'll keep the rumor mill circulating here. Let me switch my tabs.
I agree with you, though. What is it going to take for the public to obviously say this is real, this is going on? Because it will be tooth and nail to the end. I can't even think, because you have all different types of groups. They're going to say, we're dealing with demons, we're dealing with this, you know, it's fake, whatever it is. How much evidence is going to be enough for the public? I don't know. What you just brought up is so important, because is it going to take an actual engagement on live TV? Even if it was live on TV, people are going to say it's fake. It's somebody. It's CGI. That's why I'm saying, even if you did, it's going to be, forget about it. It's a Pandora's box. How much is it going to take to actually, I don't want to use the word convince, but to show the public that they are convinced this is true evidence?
So let me throw this at you. Here's an example of another thing rumored to possibly be coming forward this year. Coyame, Mexico, UFO incident, right? August 25th, 1974, apparently a UFO collided with a small airplane in Coyame, Mexico. Story goes, Mexican army arrived to get it, and the U.S. military showed up to take it from them. A firefight ensues with the U.S. killing the Mexican soldiers and taking this craft. It's a story. There's books written about it. There's everything. So someone in Mexico right now claims they have a copy of the video of this incident taking place, of the actual firefight with the craft in sight. And it's been rumored since, God, I have to get used to saying last year because I'm losing my time here. 2024, that the video's there and they were looking at ways to possibly release it.
Wow.
So
see, in that story, allegedly, this is part of what I heard, is that they removed the craft and brought it to Atlanta, to the CDC, because they had to protect the environment from some kind of biological or some type of a hazard. So that's what I heard. I don't know if you've heard that part, but when they took it to Atlanta, to the CDC, to contain it, and because there could have been some type of a hazard involved. That's what I heard. I don't know if that's accurate or not. You know who we should get that did a lot on that? Ruben Uriarte.
Oh yeah, and he wrote the book on it.
Exactly.
I posed to you though, say this video does see the light of day. There you're talking about evidence, right? Now there's several factors I want you to run through. What's the first thing running through your mind? Are you going to believe it's real, or with the power of AI now, filmmaking industry, are you going to say immediately fake? Because I have to think, if your mind sees something you don't recognize and can't make sense of, it's almost like the uncanny valley syndrome. You know what I mean? It's going to feel off to you. So it's going to feel fake. It's just a natural instinct. If this video comes out and the provenance is proven of it, what does that do for the topic? Does that move it forward? Does that make it more controversial? To me, you have the aspects of militaries from two different countries fighting over a craft. And I'm not saying any of this is true or any of this happened. I'm just saying this is the rumor that's out there. I've heard from the person that supposedly has the video. What would that do for the topic? Because you're talking about evidence.
Here's the thing. When you say he has the video, this is the 70s. What was it recorded on? What kind of a copy of the video does he have? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it on a VHS tape? Is it on the actual video recording itself? Like, what was used to make this recording? It can be analyzed and figured out if it is accurate to the time frame that supposedly it was recorded. So there are ways to vet the video itself to put like a timestamp on when it was made. You know what I mean? But I'm interested to see what type of video is this? Is it on a flash drive now? Like where's the original is what I'm saying. I would like to know where the original is.
And with, of course, a lot of these rumors and sources that, that's the kind of information that I was not provided. So
Right.
I can't answer it.
That's the thing that enters my mind. Is that the original video? Because that will say a lot that it hasn't been tampered with because it was made in the 70s. Right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that kind of stuff can be tested, but what do you think a video showing that would do? Like between our government and the Mexican government, that's not going to go down well.
No.
Having that made public,
you might have, if that were to come out, first of all, the person that you're talking to, I would hope that video, if it's real and that it's super protected and that he, because if they're going to be watching him carefully, because they would love to get their hands on that video so it never gets released. That would be my, I guess, rational opinion on that. But if it were to come out, remember when all this started with Tic Tac and Lou Elizondo did, what was that show that they did on cable, the history or whatever?
Unidentified?
Yes, Unidentified. And the government knew that they were going to be doing this stuff. They tried to get ahead of it by releasing a statement, about all this stuff that was going on. I would think they would try to get ahead of this in the same way and talking behind the scenes with the Mexican government, maybe, about what's coming so that they're on the same page on how to approach this. But I would not doubt that the Mexican government and the United States government would make some kind of a public release before this video was released to get ahead of it. That's what I'm saying.
So here's another interesting angle that you brought up, the Tic Tac. And sorry, I'm not exactly on the ball today, but it was either the Tic Tac video or the Go Faster Gimbal video actually was online back in like 2014, posted to the Above Top Secret forums, posted on some German movie site. The exact video that the government ended up releasing, it was out there. It was in the public sphere. And you know what people said? Bullshit.
Now, whoa, oh my God, my ears and all of your ears. Oh my God. I wasn't expecting that, I forgot. Holy Christ, that hurt. I apologize for that. But I just got back from the neighbors, and you can watch this whole thing on KGRA YouTube when Toby, but I don't know how much we said because I don't remember what we said to this point. But we did reference the Green Beret. I know Toby did. And we're talking about Koyami, I'm assuming right now. And this so-called video that's out there. That was the stuff I didn't want to talk about until it was discussed on this show. So, allegedly, this person has video of what happened at the site. Now, like anything else, alleged. Who knows if it's true or not? So we just got to wait to see how this develops. So that's another one. I don't think he mentioned it on the show, but, and I know this gets redundant, and there may be something to deal with Roswell sometime this year. I'll leave that alone. But the one that is important is what we were talking about at the beginning. What happened last night when that was released by Jesse, and the other one that's going to probably be released by end of the week, this weekend or next week. That's the one, too. So there's a few things going on behind the scenes. I wish I could discuss the other one. But if that is so crazy, this other one, that if that is true, it's just, like I said, something out of a movie. Like a sci-fi movie. if it's true, excuse me, it's just mind blowing. And a very serious thing because it involves a dangerous situation. I mean, like, seriously dangerous situation. Because something happened. Dangerous. That's all I can say. I'm getting a message from one of the hosts. They might be watching. I don't know, but let me see what they're saying. Okay, let me check something for them. But it's still very interesting. So I just helped my neighbor. We put a dehumidifier in the basement. Really? It's not set up yet. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, I have to check something for them. I just got back and it's already starting. It's crazy. What was that? What was that? Another message. I don't know what the heck that is. Upcoming. I honestly don't know. I'm confused now. That's something Chanel's going to have to work out because I don't know how she has it set up. I cannot do it. She's in charge. It's today and tomorrow, so it's her gig. I'm just trying to help the hosts. I don't know. All right, that's done. I'm freezing. I just came in from outside, and it is 28 degrees. It's chilly out there. Okay. Let me see what's going on in chat. I don't either, Ostains. Yes. This is why I didn't want to say that till Dr. Greer made that public. But I saw that he did, so I did mention about the Greer part. I don't announce stuff unless it goes public by them first. That is my rule. I will always stick to that rule, whether people like it or not. That's just the way it's going to be. Yes, he did. He was on Newsmax too. You should look at that when he did a segment on Newsmax talking about the drones and again, whatever you think of Dr. Greer, that's on everybody. That's everybody's opinion. But yes, they're coming forward soon. Yes, that's been going out there too with the anti-gravitic part of it with China and the United States. That narrative has been going out there ever since that email went out. And that's a whole different issue right there. But yes, that's part of the narrative. Yes. Yes. Correct. What? Yes. I agree with what you're saying. And that's the thing, what you're saying right there. I don't know whether this Dr. Greer story is BS or not, but it gives me Dodie Benowitz and Mike Younger vibes. But you got to remember, I agree with what you're saying, but also have an open mind that it's not. Because everybody's going to speculate, yep, this is another disinfo campaign psyop thing. Because it's like the boy who cried wolf scenario. It's happened in the past. Don't make the assumption that this is the same kind of scenario because that's what everybody does. Right away, they jump to that conclusion. Don't be so quick to jump to the conclusion until you hear from the person and evaluate it through the research and reach your own conclusion and give it a fair judgment then. Do you know what I mean? But there's nothing wrong with having that thing where it's like, this could be just another one of those things that happen where they just throw it out and it's BS. I agree. UAP hearings and a historian on panel to put info into context. But see, nobody cares about that, Ostains. They don't care about that, the historian part. Nobody cares. They want evidence. Nobody cares about the history. Nobody cares about the stories. You could have an historian there talk all day about all the different things that go on. You think they're going to talk about, well, the CIA knew about this since the 50s. Prove it. A historian's going to say all kinds of things allegedly. But that doesn't make it fact unless it's admission from the other side. They're going to say he's just talking sideways out of his or her mouth. So that really is irrelevant. You need to have corroborating witnesses that have documents associated with them to put out to public. That's the only way. A historian's not going to do it. Again, they could talk about the whole history since 70, 80 years. What's that going to do? It's like a storyteller. It's going to do nothing. We have them all the time. And I would definitely say, Dolan, if somebody of that magnitude, and let me be careful. Don't think that Dolan is not in the know. Because Rich is definitely in the know. If people are naive to think that Richard Dolan doesn't know what's going on right now behind the scenes, are you kidding me? It's laughable if people think that. You got to remember how long Richard Dolan's been involved with this. I know, right? But I'm very passionate about this. That's what that is. It's not like I'm stressed. I'm just passionate. It's not like I'm upset. I love this. But it's laughable. Richard's been doing this for decades. He's a very intelligent man. He's got a high IQ. You're not dealing with, this guy knows. I personally, 100%, I trust Richard Dolan. Like I said, there are few, not many, things I don't agree with him like anything else. I don't agree with everything anybody says. But I know one thing. He's the man. In my opinion, he is one of many. Because there's quite a bit of people out there that do incredible research and work and do their due diligence, and they study the topic. They don't just talk about it and shoot from, they do the research. They do the due diligence to do the research. They take the time and the effort to do it. Some people think they know what they're talking about. They know nothing what they're talking about because they don't do the research. They just think they know. So I have 100% utmost respect for Richard Dolan. And that's my opinion. And that's just the way I feel about it and think. Excuse me. But there are a lot of people that I've met and I respect in the field. Same thing. Respect. I don't necessarily agree with everything everyone says, but I respect them. And I love to hear their theories and their hypothesis. I find it fascinating. If everybody thought the same, it'd be like AI robot. It'd be like ridiculous. I want to hear different perspectives, different angles, different theories. I don't want everybody to be thinking the same in the same box. I want people to think outside the box and think about other possibilities and go that direction and research it. I think it's great that everybody's doing different things. What I don't like is when people exaggerate and just straight out lie about things that occur and they didn't. Or put out videos that are BS or photos, because that does a disservice. That I don't like. But, are they interdimensionals? Are they extraterrestrials? Are they us from the future? Or we just, maybe it's none of the above. Is it spiritual in nature? Whether good, benevolent, or malevolent in nature? Are we dealing with light beings? Like, even, the people that, because they don't like to talk about the crossover. They don't. Is Bigfoot or Sasquatch an extraterrestrial? Or is it a cryptid? Or is it kind of both? Like it was put here, this species, and evolved here, but it doesn't necessarily come from here? That's like saying, is the paranormal spiritual in nature or some kind of rift between dimensions, and we're getting that overlap and we're seeing stuff from the other side come through our side? It's fascinating, all the different theories that are out there, and I love it. And yes, there are definitely other that's a good one. I like that, Astains. That's a good one. There are other great research, but unfortunately, they won't put on a jacket and get a haircut for C-SPAN. Oh my gosh, I like that. But again, what I don't like is when people try to demean and hurt other people because they want to be right, and there's a lot of ego in this game. A lot of ego. Like anything else. There's always, the competitiveness. In any workplace, generally speaking, you have that. It's like a testosterone for something. They want to be right. They want to be the center of attention. It's all me, hear what I have to say. That other person, they're talking about something else. And they're wrong. It's like, just say what you have to say. Put your thing out there. You don't have to attack the other people's work. Just concentrate on what you're doing. Get your message out there instead of spending time trying to put it out for the others. Why would you do that? Why? That makes no sense to me. That's what they do is what they do. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. Just concentrate on what you're doing and put your message out there, your narrative. Put whatever message, what you're doing, your research. Forget about what they're doing. Why would you even bring it up? Why? You're hating? You're jealous? Or is you so ego-driven that you are convinced, 100% convinced you're right and they're wrong? Because it has to be something to do that. It just does. I love it when I go to a conference and I hear everybody do their presentation and it's different from the other. The heck, you think I want to go to a conference and hear everybody say the same thing? I love the science. I love when I see Mark D'Antonio. I love when I watch him do his presentations because he brings the science equation into it. And a lot of people, believe it or not, don't like it because they don't like what he has to say. Trust me on that. Well, that's the science part of it. And science is important because that's actually forensics, evidence, data collecting. It's important. Mathematics. If we're talking about quantum, interdimensional, science, space travel, how can they, if they can, propulsion, that's science. Give me a break. And some people, when he evaluates cases, they don't like what he has to say because, well, like, if Mark tells me something, which I respect Mark's opinion, and he analyzes something, I'm going to take it very seriously because I respect his opinion. Now, he does, you don't understand how much he does behind the scenes analyzing and doing stuff because I seen him in person the other day doing something for someone, a group. People don't understand how deep he's into stuff and how much stuff he does. You don't understand. He's got a multitude of stuff on his plate. It's not just the things you hear about. It's more than that. A lot more than that. He just doesn't talk about it publicly. And I'm not either. I'm just telling you, he's in with a lot of different things that he's doing. It's not just Sky Tour Livestream or MUFON or no. Or he's involved in a lot of things. Without getting too much into his personal business. But that doesn't mean I'm going to agree, but coming from him, that's a pretty valid point that he's making to me. So I got to take what he tells me very seriously. Because he's been doing it for a long time. He's a professional analyst. He knows what to look for. He's been doing it for decades. He knows. Now, that's not to, because other people come in with input to me from all different types of organizations. I just don't go to one. I go to many people. I want to hear other people's opinions too, not just one. No disrespect to Mark, but I go to other people too. What's your take on this? Numerous people. Just to see what they tell me. And it gets really interesting when you do that. And, that's not to discount that ordinary people, anyone can look at something and say, wait a minute, that could be, something? You might be right. So everybody's opinion matters. Now, sometimes I find it odd where people purposely try to debunk something so that you don't have what you think you have. Like they purposely do it just to mess with you. Because they don't want to see you have it. It's almost, like I said, a jealousy factor. And like I said, before I left, I'm pretty good at reading people, even through texts. I'm pretty good at reading through people and seeing people that are authentic or phonies or playing some in-between BS game. Like a snake in the grass. I'm pretty good at picking that stuff up. And yes, it's instinctive and it's that like gut feeling. I can't trust this person. They're smiling in my face, they're being friendly, but they have no good intention. Down deep, they have bad intentions. There are a few of those. Ha 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 ha. That's a good one, Stains. Mm-hmm. That is a great point you just made. Excuse me. That is a great point you made. Without evidence, it's speculation, opinion, assumptions, like you just said. Stain says, I like researchers who aren't afraid to say I don't know. I don't like researchers who say there are 7 alien species who have visited Earth and explained every ship and planet. With what proof? Really? Because that's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. Evidence. Proof. Prove it. Prove there are 7 species. Prove they're coming from Zeta or Orion or whatever place you're telling me they're coming from. Prove it to me. Where's the evidence? Oh, because you're telling me that you are communicating with them. I don't know that you are. How do I know? I mean, some people might say, how do you know you're not communicating with some demonic presence, pretending to be something else? I mean, we need evidence. That's the bottom line. That's why I said it on the show. We need evidence. Period. Period. I mean, it's interesting to hear what people have to say. It's like sci-fi movie time, you know. Yes. Look, Mom. I'm going to go off camera because I got to blow my nose. Mom's seen a tall, this is what my mother tells me. And I believe my mother. She saw a tall, white, translucent being walk by her room, look at her. And this is how she describes it. The head goes out forward, but the eyes are on the sides. That's what my mother says she's seen in this house. I can't say that. I believe my mother, but where's the evidence? And she gets mad. I believe you think you saw what you saw, but without that, it's just you're just telling me a story. I'm sorry. Just like I had these lucid dreams and other stuff that I experienced. It's just a dream. Oh, but maybe it's just past experience. You need regression. Again, if I'm being realistic, I need evidence. A story is just a story. In any form, without evidence, it's really just a story. Seriously, think about it. And I'm just being realistic. But another thing too, I'm not going to discount that people have had an experience, and that's their experience, and they went through something. Like I've had experiences. I don't care what anybody says. What I saw in Montauk over the ocean was insane, with all the lights flashing over the ocean. Now, I have no proof of what I seen, only the other people that were there, but I seen what I seen. I don't care what other people have to say. See, that's how other people feel about their own experiences. Who cares what other people have to say? Because I know what I seen. I know what I experienced. That's a different thing. Like my mother. I seen what I seen. I get it. And I respect it. because I would be a hypocrite if I didn't, because I've experienced stuff. In 1995, I documented a case with New Fork. 1995, June 10th, never forget it. And it was funny because I had Windows 95 at the time. I was searching everywhere to try to report what I had seen, a database. I was looking everywhere. I wasn't even into UFOs like that back then. I was freaking out what I'd seen. And it was, I think his name, Peter Davenport, I think it was, contacted me via email. And I wish I could talk to him because he could, I don't know if he gets so many reports. I wish he could remember this email because he wrote back to me saying, you're not the only one that's seen it. Many people seen it from New York City up the Hudson into Canada. Those were his words. People from all walks of life, including police officers, lawyers, everything, seen what I seen. Many. He might have said hundreds, but I don't want to say that it's not true, exaggerating. I know it's many or hundreds. I think it's many. That's what he told me. When I saw the triangular or boomerang, because it was dark, I just saw the bluish white lights like you hear about. That's before Phoenix Lights. So I had a sighting in 95, documented. Before people were like going running with this stuff. That's 30 years ago. And yes, it is documented. So it's not, there's some people out there too that make up stuff. All of a sudden now they have all these experiences. So they're relevant. It's incredible. That happens too. They make stuff up. You didn't talk about that back then. All of a sudden now you've had experiences. So you're relevant in the field. Now all of a sudden you're an experiencer. I've known a few people that have done that. I don't really say anything, but I'm like, oh, now all of a sudden this is happening? You had what? This experience now? Because you want to be on the in crowd? I can prove my case because it's documented. I hate when people do that. Just to feel like they're relevant and part of it. They want to be, part of it. Part of what? You know how many people come up to me in Pine Bush telling me their stories every year? Tons. I'm the kind of person when I go out, they see me with because I wear it, the UFO stuff and cap, MUFON cap or whatever. Oh, you're into that? I had a police officer come up to me. Well, he was retired. He doesn't want to come public anymore. He said, Bill, I'm tired. I don't want to talk about it no more. Because I asked him a few months ago. He doesn't want to talk about it no more. He said he's done. He's moving on. That's what he told me. But he has gone on the record. He was up with Chris DiPerno, knows him. But he doesn't want to do it anymore. And he actually went on Chris DiPerno's old show and told him his story. He was a New York Parks Department police officer. And he just came up to me and started telling me, you into that stuff? I said, yeah. And I told him the whole background. Well, I have a story for you. And he told me it when he was on the Taconic Parkway in the 80s when all this stuff was going on up here. Which is still stuff going on up here that people see, they say they see things. He was in his vehicle, police vehicle, stopped at the side of the road. He said it was twice the size of a football field. He said it was like 200 yards. It was huge, he said. Like the size of 2 football fields, hovering over him, quiet, no noise. And like out of a movie, police officers are coming from the north on the Taconic, heading south, like they were chasing it, and all of a sudden it went whoosh, gone. That's what he told me. And then they tried to come up with the story that it was planes in formation, which Michael Schratt, a friend of mine, says, Bill, that's BS. They launched them from Stormville Airport, which is no longer a small aircraft field. It's been closed for years. As decoys, they put lights on it to tell people this is what you're seeing. So there's a lot that goes on. And there's another police officer, I can't remember his name now, he was a big part of it, and a part of the Yorktown Police Department. Soravia, that's his last name. I can't remember his first name. He was a police officer. Now the guy, it was on Unsolved Mysteries, the original with Robert Stack was his name, the actor. The other guy contradicts what he says. It was planes, but he says no, that was no planes. There's so many things. So people experience stuff all the time. It's just, let me just read what you're writing. So there's so much that goes on. But like I said, I go out and people come up to me. Matter of fact, it happened last week. A woman came up to me and said she's seen something. Right here. I was like, wow. It happens all the time. And some people never see anything. Okay, that's fine. But a lot of people do. What do you tell them? You don't believe them? Then you shouldn't believe me. If I tell you my story, the same way you're open-minded to hear my story, I'm open-minded to hear yours. You still love you. Oh, you got to see the things he's built. I ain't going to say it. You still love your Tyco Creator model I won from Mark in a Bill Show trivia contest because it reminds me of so many good shows and that adorable husky. That's cute. That's nice. That's sweet. That's nice. Did you hear Fox says he has or was going to get soon the video footage from Harlem and Infos? I haven't heard that. I have not heard that. That one I have not heard. That's not to say that's not true because James is on stuff too. There's a couple of seconds of the landing footage in the documentary UFOs Past, Present, and Future from 1974. Interesting. See, like you're telling me stuff I'm not aware of. And that's good. I like that. It's not like I pretend to know everything because I don't. No way. I'm just like everybody else looking for information. And that's the whole thing. Information, knowledge. But you know, it has to be based on some type of evidentiary process. It just has to be. Because even though I've seen stuff and experienced stuff, without evidence and proof, I just don't know what to think, to be honest. You almost start doubting yourself what you've seen. Now, do I forget what I've seen? Absolutely not. Do I see it as vivid as I did when it happened? Of course not, because time has passed. But I remember that when it happened, and I remember what I seen. It's amazing. Like Mark, he talks about it from time to time, but Mark had some type of thing happen to him where something was removed from his nose and they took it out and he asked to see it and it disappeared. The sample disappeared. Mark, I don't know if you've heard that story that Mark has told, but Mark D'Antonio had an experience, personal experience. I forgot about the ghost dog in his workshop. I think that's what he calls it. Like from another dimension, something knocked him, like tugged at him and took him off his feet, and he banged his head in his basement. So even Mr. Science, even a person like that has had experience, but is willing to admit and talk about it. But see, the first thing that when that happens, people say, oh, how can we trust what he says now? Now he's going woo-woo on us. You know that runs through people's minds. Mr. Science is telling us he's had experience. I believe him 100%. And that just shows the truth of him, the honesty, that despite everything he's all about, the scientific approach on things. He's willing to discuss and be open about an experience. He has really no explanation of what happened. And I give him a lot of credit, and it takes courage to do that. I have the utmost respect for that man. And when you sit down with Mark, and I've done that numerous times, on a personal level, as a friend, one-on-one, like I was at his house this past Saturday. And like, he was working on something which I cannot discuss. He was sent something that he was working on. He goes, Bill, I've got to answer a few questions. I need, because I talk a lot and I distract the heck out of him. I just need a few minutes. So I said, I saw what he was working on, and it was super complicated and scientific in nature. And it's like, it was, I'll give you an example. It wasn't this. It's like reading someone's paper, doing the analysis of that paper, and then giving his response to it. It wasn't that, but that's kind of how seriously intense it was. So I stepped outside, and I talked to a few people on the phone. I was to get away from him. And then I'm hearing him dictate like what he wants to respond with, because he does it audio and speech, to text. And I hear him, I'm like, this guy's just so brilliant. Doesn't even stutter. The thoughts just come flowing out of his mouth in a scientific way that is so impressive. He doesn't even stutter. He doesn't even take a breath. It just flows out of that brain of his that is so impressive, seeing it firsthand, him doing something. And I'm like, wow. I ain't saying it. I'm like, in my mind, I'm saying, wow, look at Mark go. I'm serious. I have not told him this in person, I don't. But I'm saying it here, but I never told him that myself. But it's going through my mind, and I'm saying it now. I'm like, this is so impressive. So, when you're around, this is when I was talking about Richard Dolan, Mark, and a lot of others. It's one thing to see them when they're doing their presentation. It's another thing to get to know them on a more like intimate, like personal, when you're with them in person or talking to them privately, and to know what they're about. It's unbelievable. Like, I tell you, a person who is a sweetheart, Kathleen Martin, and I spent a few hours with her and Travis in a vehicle, because I went to pick them up at the airport, bring them here to their hotel, then drove them back to the airport. You're talking about a few hours each way. And just to have that intimate time of us all talking privately together was gold. Private, too. Things I cannot repeat. Private. And that's the way it's supposed to be kept. Private. And I love them both to death. I love them both. And a lot of the people I've met, Jennifer Stein, Katie Page. I really, really like Daryl Sims. He is just a character, funny but brilliant. And this guy, he's a smooth talker, but he is the man. I love hanging out with Daryl Sims. I really do. He's so cool. He's Mr. Cool. I could hang out with him all day long, all night. He's a character. And there's so many like this. I'm just saying a few. So many. Some are more subdued and quiet. But that's their personality. That's just the way they conduct themselves. And some are not. Some are more out there, but that's just who they are. as people. I've never encountered anyone that was rude or like I could tell didn't want to talk to me. I don't think I've ever I was made uncomfortable in a situation. And it's not easy to approach certain people because, you know, they're pretty much on the high food chain in the field. And it's a little intimidating to approach them. Because, you know, they know who they are. And again, it's ego. It always is. It's ego. And it's like, is this person worth my time talking to? That's just life. That's the reality of it. Whether people like that or not, that's just the way it is. And I get it. But at least I'm honest and I have an understanding of it. I'm not like lying to myself. Because people think, you know, certain things. They think, is this really something I need to do? Because they're looking for big media to talk to, you know, so they can go on TV and more prominence, you know. But they don't realize that just to get their message out there, period, is important. Because you are underestimating the reach of that right there, back there. You are underestimating that reach. You just don't know. And the same can be said for a few other networks out there that have reach. And to just say, for this one or some others, push them to the side that they're not worth the time, you're making a big mistake because they have a global reach. And, you know, right away they think video. Well, audio is very important because a lot of people listen to the audio everywhere. It's not just the video. I tell people this all the time. There's a lot of people when they're traveling or they don't have access. In a lot of countries, it's about getting access on video, and they don't. So what do they depend on? Audio. Podcasts. And sometimes I think they don't realize that. They think it's all about the hits on videos. I've got 700,000 hits on video because they're monetizing it and that's what they see. But they don't realize how much more they can get by putting it on audio as well and promoting your product to get it out there so that more people that are able to can come and check out your video. It's like sometimes I don't even make sense of that. How they don't. These are very intelligent people, but they're so narrow in their thinking sometimes that I don't know if they. Sometimes you wonder if they have even common sense to even think about things like that. Seriously. And you know, these are the little things. Matter of fact, you just made me think. I need to call her. You just made me think of that. So, things are complicated. My God. Look at all these messages. I step away for a few minutes. I need to call her. You reminded me. She might want to talk about stuff behind the scenes. That's when I mute. Because we always do that. When we have a talk, what's new? if she picks up. I need a Stogue. I don't care. I haven't smoked one all day. I'm doing really good cutting this out. Not completely, but very close.
Hi, this is Linda Moulton Howe. Please leave a message.
Hi, Linda. It's Bill from KGRA. It's been a while. I love you. I just wanted to get in contact with you, see how you're doing. You have my number. Call me back when you get a chance. Hope everything's okay. Bye. Let me try her other number. That's a private line. She usually... This is a business line.
Hello, Linda Howe.
It is Bill. How are you?
Which Bill?
KGRA.
Oh, hi. My gosh. It's been a long time. What's up?
Nothing. How are you?
Well, I... Things are going to change rapidly.
I agree with you.
In that change, there's going to be the big headlines that we're not alone in the universe, that there are ETs here, and now finally it's really irritating.
It is. I say the same thing. Instead of everybody just focusing on what their own work and research is, don't forget about hating on what other people are doing. But you know it's so ego driven. It's really hard for
It is. It's obnoxious.
yes.
It really
Are you doing any events still? I'm sure you're doing contact, but are you coming out anytime soon out east again or no?
the only two conferences that have been regular each year since COVID for me has been Conscious Life Expo in February, Contact in the summer, and I haven't been doing conferences like we used to because I do the Earth Files YouTube
Yes, I know
channel,
that.
which we're close to 285,000 subscribers,
Yep.
and it
I agree.
not
The
allowed
truth has to be put out to the
share.
public. I agree. Totally what you just said. Absolutely.
And Lou Elizondo told me. He said, I want you to know that Chris Mellon and I have heard you say it is immoral to keep the truth from the earth, and we agree. With your mom, right?
Yes, I'm still with mom, but remember you aired a replay, I think it was, and you mentioned in that replay, I think it was a personal message from Linda. It was on your Earth Files, like in December, and you mentioned me when I guess it had to do in reference when I helped you down in the city when we did that live Earth Files at that location.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
Yeah.
That was really sweet of you, and
Well,
it put a
thank
smile.
You have been, you were so important during that period of time, and I have never heard a single update about the, we'll just say, the huge fan.
I am down to
Good
170.
for you.
Yes, I lost
Good
65 pounds, so I'm doing great. So, where is the expo one at? The Conscious Expo. Where is that located?
Conscious Life, what is it, the 18th year, is always been at the LAX Hilton.
Oh, okay.
I've been to every one as a speaker since it began. And it's fun in the sense that it's in the LAX Hilton it's a vertical conference as opposed to a large flat conference. You're going up escalators and elevators to get to different halls and rooms. And it was the best of all the conferences. Everybody felt that before COVID, because it had 3 restaurants downstairs, it had a restaurant on a mezzanine, and it was so great to have people come, and you would be able to sit till 2 o'clock in the morning and talk, which we all did, and then keep doing the conferences during the days. It was great. COVID came, every single one of the restaurants.
Yeah, that's
was
horrific.
cleaned out.
Horrific. Now, do you know the date of that for this year?
I leave for it.
It's coming soon.
I should be able to tell you that right now, but there's so much. My calendar.
I know Contact is
calendar's
Contact is the end of May into June, or is it the end of June into July? I forget, but I know when.
Contact is May to June.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and you're going to be there this year, right?
Well, I have. And I get back on the 10th.
Oh, so
Possibly.
it's in
You may
February then.
want me to stay. Yeah, it's in February. Always in February.
Let me ask you this question: if I got you on for an hour on a show, would you do it for me on the station with someone?
Yeah, I'm not against doing interviews with other people. It's just the question of
Time.
Time around all of the stuff I have on my calendar.
I know how busy you are. I know how busy you are. I've known you too long not to know that.
Yeah, it's unreal how intense it is, and yet at the same time, from my point of view, it is this odd. You've got Cole Hart. time.
I understand that. I know how it's a demand for you, but I see February 20th and 27th. It's a Thursday. It's from 8 p.m. Eastern on both nights with the UAP Crossfire show. It's one of our biggest shows on the network. You were on with Command.
I would say put it in email to me today exactly when you would want me to connect with you, how long,
Okay.
time to time, and then let me try to come back to you.
You give me a date. Any Thursday. Yeah, any Thursday that works for you would work for me. I would just make sure that I tell the guys. It's Commander Cobra. You were on his show years ago. Chris DePerno, who's the MUFON state director for MUFON, and Don Ecker, and his Dan Carlson, who's a great guy. He's a pastor, but he's into this field. He's a great person. It'll be a good one. It's one of our biggest shows on the network now. It rivals
Tell
Phenomenon.
Me what it's called.
UAP
Tell me what it's called.
UAP Crossfire.
UAP
Crossfire.
Crossfire.
Yep.
And
It-
the host is named
Chris. There's four of them. Chris DePerno.
Chris, CHRIS.
Yep.
And then last.
DePerno. DEPERNO.
Okay.
And Commander Cobra goes by Commander Cobra because he doesn't use his real name because he's still doing contract work for the government. So Commander Cobra,
And how does he spell his last name?
just Cobra, like the snake Cobra, because he uses that call sign because he can't put out his real name.
Okay. COV, V as in Victor A.
COBRA, Cobra.
Oh, Cobra.
Yes, you were on his show years ago, Task Force Griffin, for an hour,
Okay.
and you actually had a good time with him. He's very polite, very respectful.
Okay. And then 3.
And 3 is Don Ecker. You know who Don Ecker is. He's been in the.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Don Ecker. And the 4th individual is Dan Carlson. So CARLSEN.
Okay.
And those.
Who is he?
He's a pastor, but he does a lot of research in the UAP field.
Okay.
He's a great guy. They all are.
I would like to work with you again at UAP Crossfire. So send it to me.
I will.
I can print it out and then. Open and not be boxed up in things like News Nation with Colhart.
Yes. You always go away for the holidays with the family. How's everybody? Good?
No, my family. up in the most wonderful time that the United States ever had, was the 1950s.
Yeah.
We were born in the 40s, but meaning
You know what's crazy? When now I was watching it because I have that presentation that you did when I went down to the city to film it for you for the Earth Files, and you were so ahead of the curve because that was like 6-7 years ago already on the AI. When you did that presentation on the AI, you were ahead of the curve, ahead of everybody. I was like, oh my gosh, Linda was like on it before everybody else figured it out. Dude, it was crazy. I was like watching it. I was like, oh my gosh, Linda. But it's
it's clearly it is a huge problem for this planet now.
yes. Yes, definitely take my phone number.
Go ahead.
All right.
Stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna email you like right after, as soon as we hang up, so it's fresh and it gets there like right away, so you can see it toward the top. Because I know you get thousands of emails like all the time.
Yes, 400 every day.
Yeah, I can only look. I don't mean to laugh, but you know.
400 every day. 12,000 a month.
Oh my
And right now,
God.
on the cloud.
Oh my
And
God. Well, I promise, as soon as I hang up with you, I am going to email you, because this way it's at the
Look for
top.
it, and I will look for and print out your email as soon as I get it.
Now,
I promise. And
uh,
I will figure out a date with you.
Okay, now. Love you always.
Love to you and to all people who are fighting for an honest planet.
Yes.
God.
And the truth.
All right.
Love you.
Later.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye. Oh. Yeah, a lot of that was personal and private. There's no way I'm putting that out there. Some of the other stuff I unmuted was okay. But we were talking heavy. And there's a lot of stuff with, oh my God. But she's going to come on. Who said that she wouldn't come on with Don Ecker? Of course she's going to come on. She didn't even comment on that. I know Don. That's what she said. I know Don. You know, I have no problem with that. Let me email her right away so that, because she's going to come on toward the end of February, whenever she has an open date, with the guys for an hour. I wasn't going to ask her for 2. But they have an hour with her. I get along with Linda very well, as you can tell. When you were able to hear, because I kept that very minimal, because it's private. Like, I unmuted when she's announcing her date. So she's going to be doing this Conscious Life Expo sometime in February. She said she's leaving February 7th. So it's that weekend, I'm guessing, whatever that is. Yeah. 7th, 8th, 9th, probably. I'm looking at the February calendar. And she's most likely going to be speaking at Contact in the Desert. But those are things that is good for the public to hear, but the other stuff, no. It's private. Okay. The name. Oh, she already wrote it down. But she wants to print this out. February 20th or 27th, if possible, or any Thursday in March. You let me know what works best for you. She had an interesting theory, though, privately, about what was going on with the drones and what's going on in California. And I was like, you know, she might be onto something. I'm not going to share what she told me, but it's an interesting theory and makes sense. Then we were talking, like the behind the scenes talk I always talk about that I can't talk about. That's the way it is. The behind the scenes chatter. It's so cool because you get that. She goes, because I said my contacts. I went, Bill, she goes, Bill, you know I have my contacts too. I said, of course you do. Because I'm telling her what people are telling me and she's telling me what people are telling her. And it's so funny because of course, she's been doing this since 79. Like, I'm Mr. Contact. Are you crazy? She was telling me stuff like, well, I can't say. A military official told me such and such. I was like, she talks to a lot of people. Okay, I just sent her the email. Oh, shit. I have to call Mr. DePerno. Who said that? It was our Stains, right? I am a tease. I have to, because you have to protect what privacy said. You have to. You all understand that. That's why I was muted the majority of the time. That's private between her and I. It's what's today? I'm so out of it. Today's Tuesday, right? I have a meeting tonight. Tomorrow I'll have Salas on with me at 9 o'clock Eastern. That's going to be interesting. Robin and I get along very well.
You have reached 312.
Oh, come on, Mr. DePerno. Oh, man. I think Commander's in Oklahoma. He's out of pocket. There may not be any UAP show this week because everybody's doing so many things. I want consistency, but when people are just busy, there's nothing I can do. My hands are tied. I'm not the host. These people got lives. They got things going on.
Your call has been forwarded.
That's a dead issue. They'll let them call me back. It's not Wednesday. It's Tuesday. Don't get me freaked out now. Because then I start thinking I'm losing it. It's like, don't say that. Oh my gosh. You got your days mixed up. You're mixing me up. I just emailed her, so that's good. See, for me, she'll do it. I like working with you. She said, "What? I miss working with you." That's what she said. I miss working with you. That's sweet. She knows how they melt me. She knows how. She loves Mom, too, because we all met. She met Mom. Mom really liked her a lot. We spent private time together downtown. And you have to see how she is with. I'm live, and I was just talking to LMH, Linda Moulton Howe,
Nice.
muted, of course, most of the time. She's going to go on the UAP Crossfire show toward the end of February.
Hell yeah, what you gonna talk about?
Disclosure? Everything that's going on? What,
Right.
she's got a lot of stuff in. I'm live, by the way, so you know. She's got a lot of things going on in herself, you know. It's not like
Yeah,
Linda.
I'm curious what she thinks about. Yeah, I haven't
Well, she told me.
looked into Linda in a long time. I'm curious what she thinks about the drones.
Oh, she just told me her theory, and it's fascinating. And I think it makes a lot of excuse my language. I didn't say the whole word. It makes a lot of sense. I'm gonna mute. I'm unmuted now.
Um,
I'm unmuted
I
now.
I wanted to
Unmuted.
take your. Okay, I wanted to take your eyes for a moment when you have time.
On something we already worked on or something else?
Yeah, just the same thing as yesterday.
Okay,
I haven't
okay.
completed. I just wanted you to be like, "Yep, that looks good."
Okay.
Or "Right, that looks like shit."
All right, remember, we have a meeting with someone tonight at 6 your time.
Yeah, 6.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, I'll check back in. I'll check in with you in a little while.
Okay, sounds good.
Later, bro. Bye.
Bye.
No, don't do that. Just go to YouTube, KJRA YouTube. You don't have to do that. It'll be on KJRA YouTube. Don't do that. What are you talking about? It's not Wednesday. Alexa, what is it? Says it on my thing. It's Tuesday. Don't freak me out.
I'm not quite
You got
sure
me
how to help you
doubting.
with that.
You got me doubting myself what day of the week it is. What is it, Ma?
Did what I was gonna say? Did you make any? Can you make any coffee?
No, you make it.
No.
I'm lazy right now, Ma. I've been running around.
No, oh Jesus Christ! I'm not asking you now, Billy. Later.
Why can't you make the coffee? Why do I have to make the coffee? Why can't you make the coffee?
It's the new one.
All right, so then do this. Set it up with the coffee in the filter, fill the pot, and then I'll turn it on. How's that? But wait, Stains, are you seriously confused about what day it is? And what's up, Eric? I mean, really? I mean, were you seriously convinced it was Wednesday? You had me freaking out, for real. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's cool that Linda's going to come on with the UAP guys. It's been a while. Hearing from Linda directly. It has been. It's time to catch up. That's the way I look at it. I'm letting Toby work on certain assets for us for next week. If he doesn't, I'm jumping on a few people. What?
The cats are they in the house?
Yes, the cats are in the house. Why?
Because I didn't see them.
Well, wait a minute. It's Wednesday somewhere in Asia? No, not even. Yeah, Asia? Australia? I mean, it is Wednesday in some places. Right? In Australia, it's Wednesday morning. Oh my gosh. That's too funny. Anyway, Eric and I were talking about something on the phone. But, you know, we were talking about winds and maps, which I was going to show this earlier. But not necessarily for what's going on in Cali. Even though they say today and maybe tomorrow, with the wind direction and the concern about the winds over here. But I think by Thursday, it's supposed to really wind down a little bit. But here comes some westerlies, but not too bad. It doesn't look. Most of the main wind is offshore. Definitely offshore, but that's coastal. You never know. Yeah, it looks like the winds seem to be subsiding for at least a few days. Thank God for these folks down there. Oh my God. So I don't trust the models when it's over a week out. I just don't. So it looks like, based on the wind models, and this is the Euro version, which I trust more than American, it looks like the winds look like they're going to start to wind down a little bit. Thank God. Now, I was talking about concerns for here for the weekend. And definitely over here in the midsection of the country, you got to pay attention to the weather for storms. I know it's unfortunate what's going out west, but there are other concerns too. Like, look at all this warm air rushing up to the north and the colder air. Look at this low pressure up here. Well, get ready for some really nasty weather up north. That is going to be stormy. For real.
You hungry, Tycho?
Snow, possible severe weather in here with the colder air behind it, warmer air in front of it. You could have some storms here. Nasty. This is nasty up here by Friday. But the thing I'm concerned about is here. Unless the models have changed, it should be Sunday night into Monday. With that system down south. Let me go to Sunday. Oh, the models have changed. That's a good sign. Oh boy, not a good sign. I don't like this little low pressure here. Monday. Where did it go? It's up here now. We have to pay attention to this here in the East Coast, folks. A development possible of a storm offshore. This could be something that we need to watch. If this develops, it could be a nor'easter. Snowstorm. Right there. Monday morning, right here. How fast this develops, if at all, will determine how much we get. Right here. Doesn't look like much right now. Let me see the American, which I don't trust. Yeah, it's probably earlier. There it is. It's predicting it to come earlier. Up the shore, up the coast, but more out to sea. Way out. All right, so that's a good thing if that happens. I don't trust it. But we have to keep an eye. I wonder what they're saying on the weather channels. Like, let's see, AccuWeather. What are they saying? Okay, what is this? Atlantic coast into next week. While none of the storms will be heavy in terms of accumulation, okay, so they're predicting it's not going to be bad. And that's one model, and there it is. They don't know. Snow potential for up here. Like I said, could be. Don't know yet. Sunday into Monday, just what I was just saying. That's it. Gotta watch it. See, this model is dependent on the American. The Euro shows it different. Look how cold it's going to get. I saw that in the models too. Look at these cold temperatures dipping into the country next week. Oh, let's back up a little. Look at that. Look at that cold air coming down, but all the way far down south. Look at this. As it drops. Oh, look at that. 20s. 20s. But again, this model is way out there. I'm not a big fan of looking at models this far out projected. But look at that. Next week, how that cold air, look at that. The whole country practically. That's this cold air. And it's waves. It'll recede. It'll go up north, but then there's a big Arctic blast there, but it's north. It retreats. And it's sitting up north, which is good. Let me just look at the more immediate future. Not bad. And there's the blast coming down next week. Right there. Wow. That even goes into Mexico. Look at this. Houston, 28 in Houston. Teens in Texas. Single digits in Texas. Single digits cold in Texas. Wow. That is a cold blast. So if you live down here, prepare. Next week. A week from now, prepare. It's going to get cold where you are. And you're talking teens in even single digits. In the 20s in Louisiana. Arkansas, Mississippi, everywhere. Alabama, you're in the 20s too. You're below freezing. You're just at freezing. So yeah, we got a lot of cold air coming down in the country next week. Look at that. So prepare for it. Now you get to know what it feels like here. Yeah, Genghis, you're going to be freezing in Louisiana. You better get plenty of that community coffee going. Oh, my. Pig pug. I'm reading the comments now. Looks like Mardi Gras colors. Oh my gosh. What's going on here? It's very possible, Eric. Very possible what you messaged me if you're still watching. Very possible. So, purples, greens, and yellows. Mardi Gras started already? Like, I don't know how that works. I know the Super Bowl is in New Orleans. Or New Orleans. However you properly say it. I just hope, and I hate to bring sports into the equation, that it's not the Eagles or the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. I'll take anything else. If I don't see the Chiefs or the Eagles in it, I'll be happy. I won't watch the halftime show, though. But now, if one of them is in there, I'm rooting the other team to win. So if it's the Eagles... Now, here's the bad part. What if it's the Eagles versus the Chiefs? And I'm like, oh, my gosh. I definitely don't want the Eagles to win. Oh, but I don't want to see the Chiefs win either. Which one would I pick? I can't stand the Eagles, so I as much as it hurts me to say it, I would root for the Chiefs. And that even drives me nuts to even say that. Oh my gosh. I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope what really is bad is that the Bills are playing the Ravens, because I think either one of those teams could beat the Chiefs. But you're only going to get one. So it's like either the Bills or the Ravens can knock the Chiefs off. I don't think the Chiefs are going to lose this upcoming weekend. I'm a Giants fan, so I don't like the NFC East teams like the Eagles or the Washington Commanders, but I remember them as another team back in the day. The Cowboys is definitely not. So that's why I have more of that rooted feeling of no way Eagles compared to the Chiefs.
The baby's hungry.
But I can't stand this anymore. Oh, you hate the Ravens? You rather the Bills? It's March 4th, a Tuesday, Fat Tuesday party. Then Ash Wednesday. That makes sense. So Pig Pug says, Bills, Lions. Bills will, of course, lose again. See, I was talking about that the other day. Or maybe the Bills, Rams, same result. Bills lose. I remember when the Giants knocked the Bills out. And the Bills had an excellent team back then, but they never won. With Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas. They had a really good team, but they just didn't win. And I'm not complaining because the Giants beat them. I'll never forget that game. I think it was 2019. I don't remember the exact score. It was so long ago. But Scott Norwood could have won the game with his kick. And it went to the right, to the right. I was like, yes! And that had to be a heartbreaking loss for the Bills. Oh, my gosh. That was great for us, not so good for them. But I'll never forget that. Husband says the Bills. I know they probably favored the Chiefs. I think the Bills or the Ravens are going to beat the Chiefs. I honestly, even though it's going to be in Kansas City, because they have the top seed, I honestly think the Bills or the Ravens can beat the Chiefs. And I'm not impressed with the Eagles at all. Because the game that happened this past weekend, it was sloppy. The Packers played terrible. Too many turnovers, and yet it still wasn't a blowout. It should have been a blowout, and it wasn't. The Eagles looked meager on offense. Meager. So they look very beatable to me. Just based on my observance of that game. They don't impress me. They look very beatable. So I think the NFC, without getting too crazy with the sports, I think pretty much it's up in the air. Anything can happen. Anything can happen in any game, any given Sunday. I'm just saying. But that's just the way it is. I've never been an Eagles fan since I'm not into pro football. She doesn't care. A lot of people don't care for a lot of reasons too. A lot of people used to like football a lot and for certain reasons do not watch anymore, and I'm not going to get into that. But I'm sure you all know why. You know what though? I don't care about the game necessarily because I have no personal interest. Really, I don't. It would be more for me rooting against a team that would get my interest. But does anybody else try to enjoy, even though it's not the way it used to be years ago, the ads, the commercials, to see what, you know what I mean? Now, as a person that loves classic rock, preferably, even though I love all music, the music over the years, to me, has just gotten off the scale ridiculous. I mean, they don't even mix it anymore. It's trending one way. I mean, years ago, at least they would mix the artists up. You might have this type of artist with this kind of genre music, then they would change it up to this one. Now it's like, you don't even see. It's like a popularity contest. I will, Eric. I'll check it out. I got to do Tripwire. I got to set up Tripwire. It's early yet. I'll definitely do it. Because I've been streaming now for hours. I need to get a break. I need a break. They are ridiculous, these halftimes. I don't enjoy them like I used to. I don't. And you can't say there's a shortage of artists out there. Like I said, it's like they're obviously trying to get to a certain demographic. That's the target, a certain demographic. It's so obvious. But I enjoyed, like, I don't know. There's something for me that I like to see the musicians up there playing their instruments and doing their thing. Now it's all like a performance act of dancing, and I don't know. Maybe I'm too old school. I don't know. I mean, you watch the Puppy Bowl. I mean, if let's just be curious. What are the, let's see. Let's look at the list. Super Bowl halftime artists over the years. Let's just see the list. Here we go. Oh my God. And I'm not going to go back to the 60s. When they started to have... Okay, we can go to the... Oh my gosh, even back then it's crazy. Really? That's a little before my time. Okay. Let's go back to 80. Let's just go back to 80. And look. Why don't we? Let's just go to 80. So in 80, it was a salute to the big band era with Up With People. Okay. Then there was a Mardi Gras festival. So that was probably a New Orleans event. Now, I'm a little kid here. I mean, a salute to the 60s in Motown. Okay. This was a kaleidoscope, whatever that was. Salute to the superstars of the silver screen. That's kind of bizarre. A World of Children's Dreams. Beat of the Future. So this is not really artists. Peanuts characters? Really? Okay, here we go with more artists. Again, look at this weird mix. New Kids on the Block, 91. Winter Magic featuring Gloria Estefan. This was more for the Olympic thing. Brian Boitano and Dorothy Hamill. Okay, here we go. Michael Jackson, 93. But look at the difference. Country music the following year. So now we got a little variety going on. Then you had Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Forbidden Eye featuring Tony Bennett, Patti LaBelle. This is just, and Miami Sound Machine. That's Gloria Estefan. Then you had Diana Ross. Check this out. Because he had passed away. They did a Blues Brothers thing. That is pretty cool. I don't remember it. A tribute to Motown's 40th anniversary. Okay, I get it. A celebration of soul, salsa, and swing. A tapestry of nations featuring Phil Collins, Christina Aguilera, Enrique Iglesias, and Toni Braxton. Aerosmith, the following 2001. NSYNC, Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige, and Nelly. U2 in 2002. So there's a mix. Shania Twain, again, No Doubt, and Sting. A mix. Then this is where it starts. A little bit. Janet Jackson, Kid Rock, Nelly, and Justin Timberlake. But look who's there in 2005. Paul McCartney. Look at 2006. The Rolling Stones. Prince. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Look at the mix. Look at the mix of artists.
The Rolling Stones.
Bruce Springsteen, The Who, Black Eyed Peas, Madonna, Beyond, and here we go. Here we go.
My favorite.
Bruno Mars, okay. With Guess Red Hot Chili Peppers. Mom, excuse me, I'm live. Katy Perry with Lenny Kravitz and Missy Elliott. That's a mix. Coldplay with Beyonce and Bruno Mars. That's a mix. Lady Gaga. Justin Timberlake, Maroon 5. Jennifer Lopez with Shakira. The Weeknd. Dr. Dre, Rihanna, and Usher. Look at the last. Look at these. You could even go, look at these. Where's that trending? Where's the mix? Where's the variety? Maybe you take out Maroon 5 out of that equation? But The Weeknd, that was a disaster. But I don't see country, I don't see rock. That's gone. That was in the early 2000s. That's gone. Look at all these artists. Look at the stretch from here to here with The Who and to Paul McCartney. Even going up to what it is now. Wow. That's a big change. And that doesn't count this year. We have to add this year now to it. So this extends further. That's what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? Bring back the college marching bands? Yes, I remember that with Janet. Yep, I remember that. So, I don't know. I don't know, who is the one performing this year? I saw it on one of the games. Kendrick, that's right. Again, where is it trending? Kendrick Lamar. Fox Sports.
The cats are eating.
That's it. So add that to the list we just seen. The trend to where it is now. You can see where it's trending. And I'm like, you've had all these artists, you had variety, changes from time to time, whether it was country, rock, Motown, pop.
That's for you, Tycho.
But then now there is none over the last 5 years. You know what I mean?
Oh, dead.
It's marketing. It's become such a commercialized event and a demographic. Really, that's what they're doing. They're targeting. Maybe that's great for TV. I don't know necessarily how that goes over in the crowd. Even though they're all into it, it's Super Bowl. They paid a lot of money to be there. They're going to be into it. But I guess that's more for the visual of the TV revenue aspect of it all. To draw. I'm surprised. I'm surprised Taylor Swift is not on that list yet. I'm sure that's probably coming. Right? You would think for the marketing. I don't know. That's the way I see this going. It's like, what's going to get you the most value to get the hits, the views, during these halftime shows. Though some of us may not like it, there's a lot of people that do. What's up, Mr. DePerno?
Hey, what's happening?
I just wanted to inform you that Linda Moulton Howe will be a guest on UAP Crossfire sometime mid to end of February.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I spoke to her, and she's willing to come on with the four of you. For only an hour, though. First hour.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, she's kind of old now, so you don't want to.
I'm live. Oh, but
Yeah.
she's been doing this for decades. I mean,
But that's
since
what
the
I'm
late
saying.
70s. Yeah,
She's a good person.
yes. I get along with her very well.
I liked all her stuff that she did with Antarctica.
She said something to me because it was private. And like behind the scenes, a lot of people that are involved are writing her personal letters thanking her for everything she's done to make it be where it is today, because she was like a pioneer bringing out cattle mutilations and all, you know, she's been involved with this for a long time. And I know, you know, I like people have their opinions like oh wait, and what, like anything else. But you have to give this woman credit for putting her life's work and effort into this field for so long.
Yeah, she's done a great job. I tell you, she's done a great job with Antarctica. Really, some of the stuff that she's investigated down there has made it, you know, from going from conspiracy to, you know, probable.
Remember, it goes back to Art Bell with her. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
she used to be with Art all the time, with Hoagland, and you know, she goes back. You know, she's been around quite some time doing the work, and she's still going. Ancient Aliens and doing a couple of events. Her Earth Files. She's busy as ever. She does not stop. It doesn't matter. You know, and she said,
No.
"Of course I'll come on. I miss working with you." And then I mentioned all of you, and she said, "Sure, I'll go on with them."
She
So
used to do good work with John Burroughs, right?
yes, Phenomenon Radio. Yes.
Yeah, I mean that was very good. I used to listen to that a lot.
Yep. So how's things over there in Buffalo? You getting a little snow or what?
We got maybe about 3 inches, nothing big.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's ground cover, but I mean it's nothing that you got to go out and shovel or anything of that nature. It's very low. Cold.
Yeah, same here. It's cold.
Yeah, it's in the probably about 25 right now.
It's 28 here.
Yeah, so I mean that's just the thing right there. It's cold.
Don't forget to reach out to Rich.
Rich. Yeah, I'll get a hold of him tomorrow.
Because he said he would be willing to come on the show.
Yeah, it's very hard sometimes to pin him down.
I know, but he told me that he would come sometime in January, or even if it's February. Just try to lock him down.
Who's coming on this week?
I don't know. I haven't seen anything from any of you guys. I'm like freaking out. What's going on for this week?
I don't know. I don't think it's not my turn yet.
I mean, it's Tuesday. You might want to make it your turn because Commander's out of pocket. And Don has, matter of fact, I don't even know what Don's status is because his power's out till Thursday. So I don't even know if it's logistically possible to do a show this week with everything that's going on. Give Don a buzz. Get his status.
All right, I'll find out and I'll let you know.
Things happen. And I was saying that earlier. We would love to do a show, but if it logistically doesn't work out, it's because things are going on. It just...
The biggest thing right now is that the winds are kicking back up again.
Yeah, they shut his power off till Thursday for concerns due to the power lines. And you can only imagine Don's reaction to that.
Oh, yeah.
He is not a happy camper right now. I can tell you that right now. He is livid because now he's got to go off the generator again. That whole ordeal. He is, I'll just say it nicely, he's upset.
Yeah.
Call him because I'm live right now. I'm being... Yeah, so I call him and then let me know an update. I don't see, even though he did do a show last night. No, BS. I had to reschedule it. He didn't do a show last night. I had to reschedule for next week because he has no power. So just see if you could reach him by the phone. You may not be able to. Try to reach out to him and then let me know what the status is, because then at least I know what the heck is going on.
All right, I'll talk to him. I'll give you a call right back.
All right, love to you and the family.
All right, bye.
Bye. No, that's not Eric. That's Chris. She always asks for Eric because she wants Eric to come here. She's always asking for Eric. Eric. Yeah, he's in Buffalo. Oh, I didn't see that. He's gonna call me back though, Pig Pug. Tonawanda? I'll tell him. He's gonna call me back to let me know. Oh God, I know. Oh my gosh. Yes. Or Dodie. Oh, don't bring that up. Did you mention that part? Don't bring up Dodie. That's the one that comes to my mind immediately. Don't bring up Dodie. Oh my God. But we know Don. We know Don. Don is not afraid to speak his mind, to say the least. But it should be an interesting show. And, you know, it's going to be more focused on disclosure and everything else. Current, like you said, current, not past, more current. Like, you know that she was in possession of Art's parts. And it was tested, and there's all kinds of stuff with that. I wonder what her take is on all that. That's a legitimate question. Because I don't know how much you know about all that stuff that went on with that. And who took samples and who tested what. I don't know. I think it's the guy's show, so I leave it to them to decide what they want to do. It's not my place. I'm just their producer. It's not for me. It's not my place. Now, when Toby and I do a show, that's different. Then I have a role. But when it's the other stuff, that's on them. I can give some advice, but ultimately it's their call, obviously. As it should be. Right? Who's going to tell the silverback what to say or do? Are you nuts? Oh my gosh. Oh my. That's a bad idea. I'm not going to tell the silverback of ufology how and what. Are you kidding? What time is it? I have work to do. I got to meet with Eric. I have a meeting tonight. I got to get some shows set up. But I'll put the link if you haven't seen it for those that are here. I'll put it in once again. You could check out that interview at your own time. The one that was released last night by Jesse with the whistleblower. If you haven't seen it. It's got 150,000 views.
You have 6 months to do that. That's difficult to do.
That's his gig. And I'm not sharing the audio or the video. Check. I'll put the link in YouTube. You guys can see it if you want. Right there. The whistleblower, Randy Anderson, I think is his name. This was released last night. There's more to come by the end of the week. Supposedly by end of week, weekend, or early next week. That's the word. I don't know if it's sticking to that time frame. You started watching it, Kathy? What did you think so far of it? From what you watched? Again, when you start hearing it, because I watched the first few minutes too, it's like, whoa. And he's come out. You know they're lining up to go after him. You know it. They always do. And Dr. Greer has something coming soon. And somebody else has something else coming soon. It was okay. I have not seen it yet, which I may do now when I'm working on some stuff and making my dinner and doing stuff in the background, because I could put it on my TV and watch it. A pig plug, I'll put it in there too. Rumble. It's in Rumble chat now too. There's no action going on in Kick, Twitch. So I put it in Thursday. What is on? I don't understand. Oh my God, Austain's just like making my mind freak out now. Is it on today or Thursday tomorrow? Oh my God. Oh, that just made my brain hurt. If my brain could fart, it came out my ears. I'm like, oh my God. Oh. That's just brutal. So I wonder, let me see before I go, because I have things to do. I've been streaming for how long now? My God. Too long. I'm getting tiredly giddy. Almost 4 hours. That's ridiculous. Let me see. And talking the whole time. That doesn't make sense. Wait.
It takes 1 minute, okay?
What is it now?
For me to talk to you.
Just tell me.
Oh. Is the houses for the cats, it's heated?
She asks me that question every day.
Because it's very cold outside.
They're never unplugged. They're always heated.
Okay. Because I gave them food
Okay.
and I expect them to go to
Okay.
the house.
The houses are heated. I'll say it one more time.
Oh, baby, don't be so sarcastic, okay? Don't be sarcastic with me, okay?
My God. Oh. He's got James Fox on tonight. In studio interview with filmmaker James Fox. That's who Martin has on tonight. And he's done that before. He's gone over to James Fox's home, which is in what state? Anybody know? Do you know where he lives? I do. So it looks like he's going over to his house again. Martin's done it in the past. That should be a good show. Just go to Podcast UFO on YouTube or even on KGR. I believe it's also on KGRA too. I'm not sure. But you can see it on Rumble on KGRA DB. But that should be a really good show tonight with Martin. Tomorrow night, though, you should go on Austain's. You should tune in. I should call Martin. I'm going to call Martin and tell him to ask him that question now. I'm going to call Martin. He's going to say, oh, Bill, I'm busy. I'm at James' house.
Hey, Bill.
I know you're busy. I know where you probably are, somewhere in Vermont, because I was
That's
looking.
correct.
I saw your upcoming stream. Are you there yet?
I'm meeting up with James at a restaurant.
Okay. Can
half hour.
somebody ask me to if you can ask him? Now I don't. I'm not familiar with this about the Emenegger video.
Emenegger video.
Yes, James might know about that.
Okay, I've got another question to ask him too, from someone.
But
Do you know how to spell that? I'll try to look it up.
yes, let me text it to you right now. Hold on.
All right, I'll look it up.
I'll let you go because I know you're busy, so I'll just text it to you,
Okay, sounds good, Bill.
and I'll send you the YouTube link associated.
Oh, good. All right, thank you.
Bye.
Okay, yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
We're eating, man.
I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have to send it to myself to my phone. But I'm gonna do that for you, Mr. Ostains. Is it John or is it? I get confused sometimes. I'm so tired right now. I'm in trouble. What? That doesn't even make sense, to be honest. That post that somebody put up, it's like, what the hell's that? That doesn't even make sense. John, do you have any follow-up any other information? No, I'm available tonight. I got a meeting at 8 o'clock, but that's not going to be a long meeting. I don't work tonight. After all, it's not Thursday. It's not even Wednesday. Like somebody tried to confuse me. All right, hold on. I got to send this to Martin.
Alexa, what's today's day?
Today is Tuesday, January 14th.
What, are you
By
having-
the way, you have a new notification.
You having problems
You
on
want
what
to
day
hear
it
it?
is too now?
Who?
You.
No, because I wanted you to know. So like you say that.
Oh my God, what's up with this day stuff?
Not me. I'm not going nowhere, so what the hell? I come the days to
Oh, so
work
it is you.
family.
Now at least I know it's you, John. Father John. I just sent him that video link. I sent Martin.
Who did it?
He's going to ask James about it. They're meeting at a restaurant.
Thank you to you.
So it will be addressed. So you should tune in tonight. You can email me too, because I can copy and paste the information.
You better eat your food.
There's a chance of snow starting at 8 o'clock, stopping at 9. Okay.
Where?
Tonight.
Where?
Here.
Oh no.
It just came up.
Oh shucks.
Pig pug, don't even do that.
You're kidding, no? Bill.
Oh, God. What is it, Mom?
Okay. Alexa, what's the weather for Newburgh today?
Oh, my
In
God.
Newburgh, New York,
Shut up.
it's 29 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly cloudy skies. Today, you can look for intermittent clouds, with a high of 29 degrees and a low of 20 degrees.
Alexa, what's the weather for tonight?
Overnight, in Newburgh, New York, you can look for flurries and mostly cloudy skies,
Flurries.
with temperatures around 20 degrees Fahrenheit.
Wow.
It's no big deal.
Tiger, you're gonna go on the snow today. You're a husky.
All right, I need to get off and take care of some stuff. But I'll be back later on tonight.
Go to sleep, Billy.
I'm not going to sleep. I got work to do.
Alexa, tell Billy to go to sleep.
Announcing.
This is what I put up with.
For Billy.
Alexa, Mom, meatloaf.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Thank you, Alexa.
Oh my God, I'll end it on that. A laugh. Oh my gosh. Oh, I got to take the garbage to the street. See, I got things to do. Anyway, Eric, I'm going to look that over now.
That was a good one.
And then I got to do some other work. Oh my gosh.
That's a good one. That was-
Too much. It's a good way to end the stream. Anyway, love to everybody. Be well, be blessed, be safe. See everybody later on tonight. Till then, have a great rest of your Tuesday.